Welcome to Pirate Cooks, pirating restaurant recipes at home. We're just starting up, and I've been told I need to dip into my stash of real secrets to let people know this channel is legit. So today, a mere 10 years after anyone stepped foot in a mall, we're doing Cinnabons. Start with a quarter cup of warm water, 2 teaspoons or 1 packet of dry yeast, and a bit of sugar to wake up the yeast. Let this sit until you see some bubbles forming to let you know the yeast is active. Looks good, so I'm going to add some salt, some flour, an egg, a quarter stick of softened butter, and big reveal, the secret ingredient is 1 cup of prepared vanilla pudding. That's it. Then just add the flour a bit at a time. This is a heavy, sticky dough. If you have a smaller mixer, you'll notice the strain it puts on the machine. If you have the egg beater kind, I'm sorry, but this will probably blow the motor. You may be doomed to do this by hand. Once incorporated, let the machine run for a couple more minutes to work the dough. Then scrape down the sides of the bowl to form a ball and let it rise until it at least doubles. In restaurants, there's an appliance called a proofer that sets the heat and humidity to rise dough quickly. Even in there, this dough takes over an hour. Covered on the counter like this, it took 3. Point is, depending on the conditions, it can be a very slow-rising dough. Once it's risen, punch it down and roll it out. Give your work area a generous sprinkle of flour. I wasn't kidding, this is sticky stuff. Roll the dough about 18 inches tall and as wide as you can get it without tearing the dough. Don't worry about making an exact square. Once we roll this up, we'll be able to play around with it and size it a bit. Now we spread out our butter. Cinnabon probably uses margarine. Its melting point is a couple of degrees higher, but around here we use butter. And in a bowl here I have brown sugar, cinnamon, and xanthan gum. Freeze frame. Let's talk cinnamon for a minute. Cinnabon sells theirs as Macara cinnamon. That's clever marketing for a product that doesn't exist. What they're really using is Indonesian or Corinthi cinnamon. This is a standard commercial cinnamon. Unfortunately, most of the high-grade stuff with a high oil content gets sold commercially to bakeries and manufacturers. You don't find the good stuff in the grocery store. I've affiliated myself with the Spice House, who provides this in a higher grade, and there's a link to them below. I'm not saying this recipe won't work with other cinnamon. It certainly will. But all you have to do is smell the good stuff, and the difference in quality is very noticeable. If you want to learn more about cinnamon, I've linked a page on our website below. Now to the xanthan gum. While it's very likely in the original, you can omit it. It does nothing for flavor. I'm using it because I'm in a hot kitchen and it helps hold all this together. Just a bit of insurance against the filling melting out of the bottom of these in the oven. In the average kitchen, as long as you let the rolls rise, everything should press together and this should be a non-issue. But it's up to you if you want to use it. Back to it, we mix that together and spread it out over the butter. Now work your way back and forth to roll it up. Once it's rolled, we can stretch and press the log together a bit. We're shooting for about 2 feet long to give us 12 rolls. Now slice these out every 2 inches. I'm just letting the knife do the work here. Don't press down with it. You'll just make a dough ball. Lay them out on a parchment-lined sheet and let them rise again. And trust me, if you have to clean a pan that these have been baked on, you'll use parchment next time. The sugar can burn on quick. Now that they've risen, you'd pop them in a standard oven for about 15 minutes. This is an overpowered convection oven, and they took some browning on the surface. You'll notice the dough stays a bit pale in a normal oven. Not to worry, if you have some little wisps of golden brown on them, they are done. While that bakes, we'll move to the frosting. So we'll need our mixer again. Throw on the whisk attachment this time. We need cream cheese, some softened butter, confectioner's sugar. Get the mixer going and add milk a teaspoon at a time until it brings it together. If you want it a little fluffier, stop adding milk as soon as it comes together. Let it whip for a minute or two to fluff it up a bit. Then add the vanilla extract. Why wait until now? Because the alcohol in the extract would keep the frosting from fluffing up at all, so what you'd be left with is more of a paste than a frosting. Frost them over and share with friends. Seriously, share. These things are like 1,000 calories apiece. Delicious, but definitely an occasional food. And enjoy. Please subscribe and hit the little bell so you know when we do the next cool thing. Videos are every Monday and Thursday. See you next time.